price of your morning cup of tea or coffee has now increased. Both Amul and Mother Dairy have announced a 2 rupee hike per litre on milk prices. But surprisingly, this increase is coming as the wholesale price inflation, or the WPI, and particularly the WPI in milk, is going down. So, what exactly is behind this increase in milk prices? Welcome back to Revolution Read On, a daily podcast where we break down one story from the world of business and finance. Click on the subscribe button to never miss an update from us. Here's your story for today. Like most things, this increase in milk prices is due to two reasons: low supply and high demand. Now, let's dissect why supply is low and demand is high. As you may have already noticed, India's weather has been a little too erratic lately. It is either too hot with no rains, or it's just non stop rains drowning out everything. This erratic weather is definitely not good for us, but it is worse for the crops. In July, 8 lakh hectares of crops were destroyed in Maharashtra alone because of heavy rains. With fewer crops now available, the prices of produce are set to go up. Now, this doesn't just make food expensive for you and I, but also for cows and buffaloes. Yes, these cattle also need food to supply milk, and if their cattle feed is expensive, prices of milk are bound to go up. And cattle feed prices have increased by 15 to 20%. Many farmers can't afford this expensive cattle feed, so they are feeding their cows less, which is reducing the milk supply. This is why Amul is raising milk prices, as it wants to pay its farmers more money to take good care of the cattle. But there's yet another aspect that is reducing milk supply: lumpy skin disease. It is a viral infection spread in cattle through insects and can cause death. This disease is currently spreading through several Indian states like Gujarat, Haryana, and Punjab, putting thousands of cows and buffaloes at risk. It is serious enough that some state governments are urging that it should be declared a pandemic so proper precaution measures can be taken. The disease has also caused milk supply to reduce, and while vaccines are being developed for the disease, no one can predict when we'll be able to get it under control. Now, that's enough about the supply side issues, but what about the demand side? For the last 2 years, milk demand had gone down because weddings and other festivities were downscaled, hotels were shuttered. But now that full blown shadis and wanderlust have arrived back on the scene, the demand for milk has suddenly risen. Plus, a few months back, the demand for skimmed milk was very high in the international markets, so a lot of milk powder was being exported out of the country, reducing our supplies. All of these factors combined have led to the 2 rupee per litre increase. But why now, when WPI, especially for milk, has come down from 6.35% in June to 5.45% in July? Well, milk prices have been rising over the last few months by 5 to 8%. But companies don't like to pass on the entire increased cost of production they are bearing at once. After all, a sudden 10 rupee hike would probably make you stop buying milk altogether. But a gradual increase of 2 rupees a couple of months will not destroy demand by a lot. However, this 2 rupee increase could still have a devastating impact on a country where 71% of the population cannot afford a nutritious diet. And this number was calculated way back in 2020, when the average price of a nutritious diet was 7,600 rupees a month for a family of four. With the recent rise in food inflation and the 12% GST on milk products, a nutritious meal could be out of reach for a lot more Indians. This could impact the overall growth and development of our country. So, will milk prices be going down anytime soon to reduce this burden on the common public? No. On the contrary, prices are set to rise at least one more time until October. After that, we could see prices go down as the peak lactation period will set in from October to February, which will once again increase milk supplies. Until then, we'll just have to bear the brunt of these high prices. And with that, it's a wrap on today's story. Thank you for listening to this episode. We'll be back with more tomorrow.